I hope you have an excellent final week. And I will read to you what less, of course. Chapter 4, final chapter 4, the paper of science in Genesis. Let's get the translation to English. Kardec, Genesis, chapter 4. Let me see. All things are ever being so good in life. Now is a good phase. See this in microphone entering house, all windows closed. See one thing. Is this against a building? Against. It's people that don't have religion, have a seita in Portuguese. Don't practice charity. When we don't practice charity, when we can enter in mind of another without respect, sorry, this is a violence. Don't have importance if it's in a relationship or in a religion. Is the great violence this? Still they are right, they don't can obligate, they don't have this right to obligate me to accept other ideas that I don't want this. They don't support me, they don't give me my survive, I have my life. They must respect, and this is out of law in this planet. Don't respect silence law. Don't respect. It's not one day they make this. They make this 9 times in a week. It's a great violence. And they use false name. It's a commandment. Don't use the name of God with false things. They are making this all time. Using the name of God to agree to most aggression in all neighbors that don't believe in what they believe. See this all time by high voice, all time and ever in the same tone. This way, without me, I don't lie. They and so high voice in microphone. This is the fanatism and a violence indescribable. But now I close it all here. I will read to you because I made this in Tuesday. This another that are ever fighting and incite others fighting. God, my God. They think they are rights from this. Don't have rights to make this. Don't have. Don't have. Ever fighting against others that don't believe. They like this. They like this fight. They named himself the soldiers of God. Please. It's the time of crusade. They are crusaders. Maybe. I don't know how this type still are professing this false religion. The Genesis, yes, open exactly where we are. And have in chapter 5, because I read this. But when I was search, I don't met this. I don't met. Now, Genesis entails two parts: the history of the formation of the physical world and that of humankind considered from its twofold principle, corporeal and spiritual. Science is limited to studying the laws that govern matter. Regarding human beings, it studies only the corporeal envelope. From this aspect, it has grasped with incontestable precision the principal parts of the mechanism of the universe and the human organism. Thus, concerning that crucial point, it can therefore complete the Genesis of Moses and rectify its faulty parts. Do you remember I said that children have necessity to histories, to childhood histories? Hi, a little cap, red cap girl with the wolf, the beautiful is slept or sleeping, and others histories from these children. Humanity passed to various ages, similar to human beings. Infants, caveirons, and before this have only a baby, men of cavern. Then childhood, and was all this time the Genesis was made for childhood spirits. And then in teenagers, we can say about us, we are entered in this age from teenagers. Then we can know so much things with our mind today prepared by this. Because science, without science, it was impossible we understand the real Genesis. Is this. Then God was sent to this planet genius that made this planet evolve more fast. And now continue this test. But the history of human being from the spiritual point of view is linked to a special order of ideas that is not within the domain of science per se, and therefore science has not made it an object of its investigations. Philosophy, which more particularly has his genre of study among its attributions, has formulated only contradictory theories concerning the point at issue from pure spirituality all the way there, and got even with no other basis than the personal ideas of their authors. Thus, philosophy has left the issue undecided for lack of sufficient verification. Item 12. This issue, however, is of utmost importance for human beings because it addresses the problem of their past and future. The problem of the physical world affects them only indirectly. What is important for them more than anything else is not know where they have come from and where they are going, whether they have already lived it, and if they will continue to do so, and what fate is reserved for them. It's the great importance we know in life where we are from. I have a family. I know my father and mother. What I am making this planet working to sustain me is the life. And from where I go to hands of God. This is basic information that all of us have. If we have a religion, well, if we know exactly that we were a cavern man and I was evoluted Holy Spirit various times in one life, but various phases. Reincarnation we can see about one phase. We were evolution by phases and gone to arrive here. And we know that all things bad that is still are happen in my life is a reflex of past, and I don't need to be worried with this. This is only suffering that my soul must be more strong and with evolution. God has various tools to promote evolution in your creatures. This is the logic sense when we start to think, where are from those men of caverns so intelligent to make beautiful and artistic pictures so perfect that no one now try to say to make a face of a horse or a bull. We don't will get. Sincerely, when I was studying make pictures, I don't got. How those men so more or less of capability that we have today got to make those. Then we can imagine have other places in the universe. We don't can be the unique, because we compare to universe, we are nothing. Sincerely, is this? Then have other places so much with evolution that sent to this planet spirits so much intellectually high but moral, saying so low in evolution. They had necessity to again study in the school of God to develop so low morality, cause they choose this in past. Then God make them return to learn. Now God said this. Now you will forget your intellectual development, because you are so selfishness with this, and you forgot develop the morality. Without morality, spirit don't have capability to fly. Don't have a spirit without high morality will be ever how a verm. God don't desire this to this creature. All this we can understand by this knowledge. All these mysteries. In past we can use the logical dots, and have in Brazil have books about it. Did receive it by doctors that are dead. Now his body are dead. They are in another dimension. But they left here doctors formed in medicine. Spiritists is writing about it. Exilados de Capela. Exiled from Capela is a book from a doctor in Air Force in Brazil. They were doctor there, are a military doctor, and writed this. Don't was written by a common person, no. He was formed in medicine. He worked in Air Force and writing this book, Exiled from Capela, Exilados de Capela. I try to remember now the name of him, because have others that I have in mind. I've made confusion. Was the Edgar Armond was the name of this man, this doctor. Edgar Armond, exiled from Capela. You will search in this book if you want to translate this, because I are in Portuguese. You will read the description of who were cavemen in those planets that help our body develop it so much fast. Concerning all such matters, science is mute. Philosophy provides only opinions that diametrically oppose one another, but at least it allows for discussion, which leads many individuals to rally to its side rather than that of religion, which it does not excuse. Have people that prefer not religion, because have a religion that don't are open to the excuse, are only dogmas you must accept. You are obligated to accept dogmas. In church, arrived for me a time that I don't accept more. I wanted so fast understand why have children birth in a favela, and others in a rich's house. Why this? And I met this answer. All these answers we have doubt. You will search in the Spirit's book. Certainly you will see this. Concerning all such matters, science is mute. Philosophy provides only opinions that diametrically oppose one another, but at least it allows for discussion, which leads many individuals to rally to its side rather than that of religion, which it does not discuss. All religions are in agreement as to the principle of the science of the soul, without, however, demonstrating it. Even so, they are not in agreement as to the soul's origin, nor its past or future especially, and this is essential, as to the conditions upon which its future fate depends. Most of them impose on the beliefs of their followers a picture of the soul's future that could only be accepted on blind faith because it cannot hold up under serious examination. Because the destiny they accord to the soul is linked in their dogmas to the ideas once held about the material world, and the mechanism of the universe is ancient times. Such destiny is irreconcilable with the state of current knowledge. Thus, since they can only lose out to examination and discussion, religions have found it simpler to prescribe both. From the disagreements concerning the future of the human being, both doubt and disbelief have arisen. However, this belief has left a painful emptiness. Humans regard with anxiety the unknown, which sooner or later they will unavoidably have to enter. This is a fact. They will enter in another dimension. We are entering another dimension. If you will change to other land, you must first learn the language of other land. If you go without nothing to another land in totally different that you are living here, you must prepare or you will suffer them. Suffer a lot with confusion, without understand what they want to say to you, without know how to survive. In first, we must develop the sense that exists another dimension. In first. In second, when you are alive and you start to get objects and you don't get it, or you try to talk with people around you and no one give you an answer, and you are completely forgotten for all, you start to think you are dead, because the spirit don't perceive. The spirit forget the passage to one dimension to another, and sometimes to To be wake up in other dimension is how an anesthesia. They, all spirits without belief in other dimension, start in another dimension, how starting to be out of anesthesia. Then, if this spirit don't have faith in God, they will ask help for what? For who? Is this the second thing, important thing? To who I can ask help? To God and angels. And sometimes you will see parents that are in other dimension, but you don't believe they are living. Then you start, whoa, I'm having visions, I'm not good, this non-exists. Is this what will happen? I saw various times this happen with spirits, wake up in other dimension. I worked 40 years with this. And is this the reaction? Appear your parents that are in other dimension. Hi, it's me. You don't believe? No, I am sick. Please, I am sick. I am seeing ghosts. Ghosts don't exist. My God, where I am. And you can see the help. Can you understand what agony must be this? This resolve this problem. Because in your mind, have possibility really. You are here with anesthesia. You are here still. But will pass in your head if you read this. Oh, maybe I yet now in another dimension. This will open to you the help, and you will start to see this. Because the great work to the spirit, higher spirits, is give the help, because the other don't believe. The other don't believe. They are doctors to help him. The other don't believe, that have parents that arrived to receive him. The other don't believe and don't have confidence in no one. This poor spirit will be lost until they start kneeling floor and ask really help to God. It will be the first time this spirit will remember the God in desperate state. If you take a time all week to read about it, less you will have an idea that what would happen in other dimension. But never you must go to another spirit if you don't, before this, ask help to God with faith. God, help me now, I believe in you. And then will appear the real helpers sending by God and angels. From the disagreement concerning the future of the human being, both doubt and disbelief have arisen. Examination, discussion, oh my God. Let me see, I put a hand in other side that change all here. Let me search again the page. Sorry. Chapter 4, yes. I was in eating 12, I read 13. Let me see. The problem of the physical world affects them only indirectly. This issue, however, is of utmost importance for human beings because it addresses the problem of their past and future. The problem of the physical world affects them only indirectly. What is important for them more than anything else is to know where they have come from, because this I was explaining all this, and where they are going, whether they have already lived and if they will continue to do so. Continue to do so in other dimension. And what fate is reserved for them. Concerning all such matters, science is mute. Philosophy provides only opinions that diametrically oppose one another, but at least it allows for discussion, which leads many individuals to rally to its side rather than that of religion, which it doesn't discuss. I read this but don't have importance. All religions are in agreement as to the principle of the existence of the soul, without, however, demonstrating it. Even so, they are not in agreement as to the soul's origin, not its past or its future especially. And this is essential as to the conditions upon which its future fate depends. Most of them impose on the belief of their followers a picture of the soul's future that could only be accepted on blind faith because it cannot hold up under serious examination. Because the destiny they accord to the soul is linked in their dogmas to the ideas once held about the material world and the mechanism of the universe in ancient times. Such destiny is irreconcilable with the state of current knowledge. Thus, since they can only lose out to examination and discussion, religions have found it simpler to prescribe both. And pass my mind now that men are so much worried with the moon, with to go explore other planets and will see nothing. Because these eyes is material eyes. These eyes, in this mechanism of this body, see only material things. Is another projection of spirituality. All this is an illusion, because can be transformed, and you can have nothing here if you don't have nothing about nothing. My rings, other things I like, I will have this. I need to develop the great preoccupation of the demands of science. It would be understand this and have profound study with spirit, with body of a spirit. In body of a spirit are explanation for all six in this body. One day the man incarnated will discover a way to study perispirit. I know this because I read in some places. Maybe André Luiz, I don't know. But it's this. One day the science will be linked in a study perispirit, and not the moon, not other planets, that if you don't develop your spiritual vision, you don't see nothing in those planets. Don't will have result, no one to send material men or women to see things that only the spirit will see, and will expend so much money to this. Not the ocean. The men's are explored in abysms, create vehicles that can get the pressure of the ocean and go so deep. This is more important because there they will see the start of the life in this planet. How so much scientists have discovered in last years. I read the other day that in high mountains, how Everest, but in more high mountain have dogs from Atlantida. They search this way to guard these dogs in an inaccessible place that one day man can search this inaccessible place that have dogs from Atlantida with all knowledge by Atlantida. I read in those books about Hamatis that said that in those times, exactly those times, we would have this problem with cremation, and is not cause, no one reason scientific conclusion, no, it's only cause change the X of the planet. But scientists don't will hear this. Scientists don't will understand this. The same way they don't understand when a scientist said, the planet makes circles around his own body, and circle around the sun. No one accepted this in those times. And this was a type of prophet, but was a scientist. And all new ideas will have a great resistance until be accepted. Then we can see that the great resistance of the human beings one day will broken by the truth. Then continue the test where people are making a party, a carnival, and it's this. I prefer the truth than this carnival. Most of them impose, it's a babies, most of them impose on the beliefs of their followers a picture of the soul. soul's future that could only be accepted on blind faith because it cannot hold up under serious examination, because the destiny they accord to the soul is linked in their dogmas to the ideas once held about the material world and the mechanism of the universe in ancient times. Such destiny is irreconcilable with the state of current knowledge. Thus, since they can only lose out to examination and discussion, religions have found it simpler to prescribe both. From the disagreements concerning to the future, 1814, from the disagreements concerning the future of the human being, both doubt and disbelief have arisen. However, this belief has left a painful emptiness. Humans regard with anxiety the unknown, which sooner or later they will unavoidably have to enter. Was this I stopped? The idea of nothingness shields them. I remember when I was this way, I was a teenager. It was Pavlov's sense to think and believe in it. Idea of nothingness is Pavlov's. Shields them. Their conscience tells them there is something beyond the present. But what? Their developed reason no longer allows them to accept the stories that comforted them in childhood, taking allegory from reality. What is the meaning of such allegory? What is the meaning of such allegory? Science has pulled back a corner of the veil, but it has not revealed what is most important for them to know. They question in vain, but no one answers. Is a peremptory or appropriate manner to calm their apprehensions. Everywhere they encounter affirmation clashing with negation, without proofs that are more positive on one side or the other. Hence, the uncertainty about matters of the future life makes people throw themselves frantically into the things of the material life. Because have a worry, so great worry. It's so hot here because this I don't can open. And let me clean my lens, because have hot is one thing, but have lens and based lens is not good, is so bad. Such is the unavoidable effect of times of transition. The edifice of the past collapses, but that of the future has not yet been built. Humans are like adolescents who no longer hold to the naive beliefs of their early years, but who don't yet have the knowledge of adulthood. They have only vague yearnings that they don't know how to define. 15. If the question of the spiritual individual remained, if the question of the spiritual individual remained a theory until now, it was because humans lacked the means of direct observation needed to observe the state of the material world, and the field remained open to the conceptions of the human mind. As long as humans didn't know about the laws that govern matter and could not apply the experimental method, they erred from theory to theory regarding the mechanics of the universe and the formation of the earth. This occurred both in the mental order and the physical order. In order to set their ideas, they lacked the essential element, knowledge of the laws of the spiritual principle. This knowledge was reserved for our time, just as the laws of matter were the work of the past 2 centuries. Until now, the study of the spiritual principle is metaphysics was purely speculative and theoretical. In spiritism, it's completely experimental, which the help of the faculty of mediumship, more developed in our day and above all generalized and more thoroughly studied, humans are in possession of a new instrument of observation. Mediumship has been for the spirit world what the telescope has been for the heavenly world and the microscope for the infinitely small world. Mediumship has enabled humans to explore and study with their own eyes, so to speak, the spirit world's relations with the corporeal world, to isolate in the living human the intelligent being from the physical being, and to see them acting separately. Once relations with the inhabitants of the spirit world were established, it was finally possible to follow the soul in its evolutionary ascent, its migrations, and its transformations. Matter from the spirit in this time is essentially it's necessary study. Science starts to study this. If science wants search life in another planet, it's necessary science start to study how to have a link with another dimension, because this exists. All of us that are here, hear me. All of you have parents in another dimension. Most of you see this. Most of you. And most of you hear your parents in dreams. It's not illusion. Was there you met. But it's necessary have a serious eyes to this matter. Spiritual situation exists. Other dimension is a reality, and they are all time interaction with us. So much people see the spirits, how we are seeing now. So much people incarnated. I knew various that talked to me. I see my father, I talked with him. I see other, I talked with her. I see in the spirit in this way, blah, 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 blah. I don't see. I never wanted to see. I ever was passionated by matter, scientific side of spiritism. And never I searched, see spirit, but I felt in my mind directly. And only today I have balance, cause with my work for 40 years, I balance my mind. I know when it's me thinking and when with other thought for other person. Grace of God is a bless. I can distinguish my mind from another mind, because have people that go to hospice, because this in my condition, yes, if I don't was work all my life, 40 years, with helping spirits in other dimension, I never would have the balance I have today. In my mind, have a various thoughts, various minds in my mind. And this turned my soul full of anxiety. Still, I start to work to help others. I have my material work, of course. I don't live it by working spiritual way. Of course not. I have ever my material work that sustain me in material things. Material work, material things. Is spirituality, talking, no, never. I ever have paid from God to me. This I have ever, protection from God. Because my work is sincere. My work is clean. My work is honest. Because this attachment that I receive of minds of this planet don't make difference to me. I send these minds in hands of a spirit strong. Because this I am here in balance with you. Because my intention is clean, is honest. And people that don't have honesty, people that is not have clean mind, they fall when attach me. Not cause me, because my protection, of course, because my intention is honest. My intention is pure. My intention is my heart with God. I have so much great blessings, because I am deeply happiness with God and my balancing mediumship. My mediumship, contrary this, take a person in hospice. Dr. Bezerra said this. More than 90% in hospice, I don't know if in all cities have hospice, is problem of mediumship and knowledge. Is this. And I believe, because I work in spirituality in a hospice. I worked this in central of Brazil when I was playing in orchestra in this place. I work in there still with spirituality and auspice. To don't make this, hear this. This is a bad spirit with this mediumship, totally without balance. Make this to God? No. This is fanatic spirit with fanatic people. Is this? And analogy. They don't know, prepare. They don't have prepared to work this way, receiving this bad spirit. See this? Imbalance. Totally imbalance. And I don't know how his parents can live with a person this way. I don't know. See this? Because this I have grace. I have great gratitude to God taking me this way. Knowledge and balance. Once relations with the inhabitants of this spirit world were established, it was finally possible to follow the soul in its evolutionary ascent. All, including these unbalanced people, all of us will walk to ascent, evolutionary ascent. More day, less day, they will too, all of us will too, including people in prison will too. No one will escape the ascent, but people that choose fight to God will only walk in circles for centuries, maybe for centuries, for his own choose, without knowledge. That is what previous commentators of Genesis lacked in order to understand it and rectify the errors in Genesis, old Genesis. Once relations with the inhabitants of this spirit world were established, it was finally possible to follow the soul in its evolutionary ascent, its migrations and its transformations. All of us are now in transformation. One could finally study the spiritual element. That is what previous commentators of Genesis lacked in order to understand it and rectify errors. The spirit and material worlds are in constant contact and thus in solidarity with each other. Let me turn on something because I'm so hot. It's so hot. All here are closed. It is the unique way to be protected to this disturbance. Let me turn on the light, and with calm I will finish. Genesis, the spirit material world are in constant contact and thus in solidarity with each other. Both have their share of the action in Genesis. Without knowledge of the laws that govern the former, it would be as impossible to construct a complete Genesis as it is for a sculpture to give life to a statue. Only now, while neither material science nor spiritual science have spoken their final word, do humans possess the two elements suitable for shedding light on this huge problem? It was necessary to have these two keys to arrive at a solution, even an approximate one. And this finished the chapter. The next chapter will be chapter 5. Ancient and modern world theories. Modern world theories by century 19 this. Modern world theories, maybe. I don't know. When we will read this, I will comment with you. In the next chapter, they will say about movement of the heavenly bodies, constitution of the universe, let me see more. The sky generally, the stars, all this. And still in Hindu mythology, Kardec will make a citation. I wait you for the next Thursday, the next Thursday, to meet you and talk about chapter 5. From chapter 4, we can saw that the initial Genesis is not wrong, of course, but isn't incomplete. And with errors from the translation and with a conclusion made by an incomplete material to conclude all things that Genesis was talking. These informations that Kardec are giving us is conclusion of all 4 books that he received by spirits. They don't write these books. They received these books coming from more than 1,000 centers in the world, in various different languages. They don't have communication with each other. And all this information, the spirits made arrived by Kardec that had in those times one publication in magazine, named Magazine Spiritist. And have today, this material is free inside of Brazil, in various languages, about magazine, Spiritist magazine, and have 12 volumes. It's so much material. All search he made are in this magazine that you can search for free inside of Federação Espírita do Estado de São Paulo, FIESP. put in back from start. We put start from the back. Federation Spirit from the state from São Paulo. There in this site, in Portuguese, you will read material in English, various books in English, and other languages too, in French, in Germany, in Spain, and other language to have. But you can search this there. Have so much books in Brazil received by mediums, but not all I read. And not all I can say to you is right, because I don't read all. But from Francisco Xavier is good, from Divaldo Pereira Franco is confirmed, is real. It's only these two I can say with absolute certainty that is approved, is real. It's not truncate information. No, it's clear information. Francisco Cândido Xavier, all literature, more than 500 books. Francisco Cândido Xavier received. He was a mechanic mediumship that he talked helping people, and his hand was receiving books. It's not his mind, but his hand, the spirit get the hand of mediumship and writing. In Brazil, have a North American doctor that was here to make an operation with famous medium named José Aribo. And the doctor that made this operation was Dr. Fritz. This American man have a book that he wrote by this. In North America, no one doctor was operated that he had in his arm a great ball, but these balls are so next to the nerves, and doctors have afraid to make this operation. It's an operation from risk. Maybe to retard movement from the hands or appear this. Then they don't make this. And the ball was growing enormous. And this medium, this doctor from the United States, come here to make this operation. This doctor, Fritz, don't clean the knife. Don't clean. It was a knife, old knife, with substances. Nothing approved from no one. Not a normal person used this knife, but he used it to make a cord so big. But this knife and make this in 2 seconds, 3 seconds, the ball pull off the arm of this doctor. They don't believe it. He don't believe it, and all people applaud. It's this that happened in Brazil and other things of materialization of spirits, all of this. But this doctor writes this book about José Aribo and Dr. Fuchs. Search in that, you will see American doctor that came to Brazil and made this operation in his arms, because no one wanted to make this. United States, no one doctor wanted risk to but make this operation. This operation in the United States would have 5 hours. 5 or 3 hours, I don't remember. Here in Brazil, spirituality, this take 3 seconds. 2, and don't give points. No, I think it posted, and don't disinfect it. No, put those knives so wrong. Put out this ball falling in the floor. The doctor don't believe it. B, the doctor was without cured and only put a bandage, nothing more. This is totally contrary ethic in operations from doctors. But the Spirit, God made this. And show to all people believe have another dimension. And people are worried to go to other planet when here happen miracles all day. All day. People that have cured by cancer have a history. Sometimes I talk about this history. The woman don't like it, poor people, was a rich woman. And she only was in a spirit center because the medicine was negated. No one treatment, don't have more. What made his state of hair cancer. Then she, in desperate situation, go in middle of poor people. And she was cured. When doctor in this planet said, you don't have more than 3 months of the life. And she cured and started to be in the spirit center for 1 month, for some months. But she disappeared. And all people in the center was asking, where those women? What happened with her? Why she stopped to be here? She was cured, but people in center was worried with her. More 6 months, they discovered she was discarnated caused the cancer. Returned. When she abandoned the center, the cancer returned. Cause he real sick to cancer was in his spirit. Was in don't have relation with other person, only cause social level. Only this was an obstacle to her can meet other normal persons. This was finished his body. And cancer returned because the treatment was what? She frequented a place with normal people. But she don't accept this, and cancer returned because the treatment was she learned to have convivence with another normal person. see this. And this way, this woman never more appeared. And that caused cancer returned. And have other stories that cancer, people that fight it and with faith are cured by the cancer. And have another case of children that have six that only are cleaning his spirit. And his parents must only accept this. Is this. But if you have faith, if you believe, and you mercy, you must want change your spirit, change your preconcepts, change your selfishness, and people sometimes don't want to make this. Then the sick finish this body, unfortunately, because the spirit don't have strength to control this. We must learn to have knowledge of ourselves, nor taking care of life of other person. Let other in peace prepare you with you, and you will know how treasures are inside you. Is this the moral of all this I am making here? I'm talking about this. Is this knowledge yourself? Knowledge you, spirit. And all things will be balanced. Is this? I give to you greetings to have hearing me, and God bless all, and have a marvelous initial week with work, with sincerity, with sincerity, with happiness, with real thoughts, and with your own thoughts. Until the next. And today, remembering this life that in Thursday I made, but I don't got, but in to you see this knowledge by Kardec is marvelous. Until the next. Thank you. Thank you, your presence.